This is Walt Disney. I would like to welcome all of you to the Park Streamers Hangout tonight. Bob, Danny, and Cordy are dear friends, and I know they have an amazing podcast for you. So thanks for joining us tonight, and enjoy the show.
Well, hello, everyone. Happy Monday to you, and welcome to episode 22 of the Park Streamers Hangout. So let's go ahead and get started by introducing our co-hosts here. So Barry, please go ahead and let them know where they can find you. We'll go to Theme Park Casual.
Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Sorry, I was having some audio issues there, so I couldn't hear anything. But go ahead, Theme Park Casual.
Okay. Theme Park Casual. You can find me on YouTube, X, and Instagram, all of them at Theme Park Casual. Now we'll send it back over to Barry.
Thank you, everyone. Well, hello. You can find Barry Place 28 on all my socials. So that's Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And thanks for joining us tonight.
And Cordy In California. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Discord, and Twitch, Cordy In California. All right, so we have a great night planned out for you here. We got lots to talk about, some exciting news. So I think we're just going to start it off with something that is, I guess, the most recent. We now have a new security entrance to downtown Disney. I think it looks beautiful. I really like what they did here. So we just wanted to share this with you here. So that's what it looks like. I heard that I saw some posts, right? Like at first it was like no one knew it was there. And I was thinking, I'm like, oh, maybe this will make the tram security line shorter. So I don't know if it worked, but I saw that this line really kind of grew. Everyone's trying it out. So yeah, I haven't had an opportunity yet to go through this entrance yet. Have either of you?
I have not. I thought it was closer toward where the side of, like, if you walk from the parking structure, I thought it was going to be near there, like it was going to swap that, but no, that one's like completely on the other side. So you'd have to like kind of circle around through the Disneyland Hotel to get to it if you're not coming from the downtown Disney parking lot.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, this is from Mouse Info from their X account. And I'm going to show you, they show you a little video of what it's like to go get in line. Basically, you have to walk all the way down like you're walking past.
Construction is still going on.
Here we go.
But a new piece opened up this weekend. What you're looking at here is the brand new entrance into downtown Disney. The other entrance closest to Mickey and Friends is still open, but the one that was closest to Disneyland Hotel is currently behind construction walls, and everything there has been ripped out. You can see this new structure gives a proper entrance to downtown Disney, and it points towards the parking lot for downtown Disney. Once you go through security, you can see there's still a lot of construction going on, but it leads you right into that little area where the new stage is. There's also the Din Tai Fung right here, and then some new restrooms. There's a men's restroom and a women's restroom, and then there's two separate companion restrooms as well. Okay, then looping back around here, and then we're back to the security entrance. Unfortunately, lines can still get really crazy. You can see here we're speeding this up, but the line in the evening got pretty long. We were basically walking back to Pixar Place Hotel. Okay, obviously it wasn't that long of a walk, but you can see here the line was pretty crazy. But all in all, it actually moved pretty quickly. It's not these crazy horror stories that we've been seeing lately. This line was maybe 10 minutes long. If you like this video, don't forget to like and follow for more Mouse Info.
Okay, so that is the video from Mouse Info, and obviously that was a nice little video they did. And you can see it's definitely, I've seen some pretty packed footage of this, and apparently it's not as packed as, what they were showing there. But I like it. It's a nice new entrance. I like the new restrooms are by Din Fung or whatever it's called. And you got it's close to the, stage they just put up. So it's just another new, entrance. And is that going to be the permanent new entrance? Or is that just going to be one of the entrances then on that backside? Do you guys know? I haven't heard.
I'm assuming it's going to be permanent for that backside. I don't know if they're going to reconstruct the one for walking from the parking structure, because that's still all just temporary stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if they're going to eventually force everybody walking to go through that other one, the new one, and then do proper construction and create something similar, on that side where the old ESPN zone is and where the temporary Earl of Sandwich trailer is. I don't know if they're going to do that. I haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what they do with that particular entrance and exit, right? Because I think it was primarily for employees, like that's the main entrance for them to come in through. And I know that they continue to try and stop people from walking through the employee parking.
That's so dumb.
They put benches and signs, but so I'm curious to see too if with this, kind of reconfiguration, if they do something to halt that. I mean, I'm sure they don't want to have to put up, fences and walls, but I feel like that's on their mind. How can we keep the guests from walking through that employee park?
Yeah, I'm also curious with the Disneyland Forward, what's going to happen, because that area is slated for theme park expansion potentially. So who knows?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, a lot going on. But I hope we get the other one back, so that we have this one in addition to what we already had. That would be wonderful.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how far it is for the Disneyland hotel guests to walk around to it. If it's, I mean, obviously they used to be able to just walk straight out of the hotel and, right to the security. So yeah, it seems like, okay, now you're forcing your hotel guests to walk a little bit around. Not that it's a big deal, but.
Right. It does seem a little weird because I was thinking about this, with Disneyland Forward, and of course we have some time before they, start doing any of that theme park expansion. But, the thought is that, that Simba parking lot and Stitch parking lot are going to be, part of the theme park. So it's kind of weird. They have it angled off right now, though. So it kind of goes towards the parking lot for Simba. So then are they going to maybe have a pathway that comes from the hotel from the other side? Over by where Trader Sam's is. Maybe there's going to be a walkway from there over, to that entrance or something. I have no idea.
Yeah. Again, with the Disneyland Forward, it kind of puts everything in a very weird spot for us to be able to speculate, because like you're saying, it's pointed toward the parking lot, but if that becomes theme park, is it part of California Adventure? Is there going to be another exit entrance right there for hotel guests? It's hard to say, but regardless, hotel guests would have to still go through downtown Disney. So there needs to be, the bubble has to start somewhere.
Well, some of the comments I heard too were that people were surprised that they didn't have the new type of security system that they had over Walt Disney World over here for, our downtown Disney into Disneyland. So maybe this is going, even though it looks permanent, maybe it's just a temporary permanent thing. I don't know. That sounds weird.
Yeah, I don't know. That looks pretty solid for them to spend that kind of money on something that's only going to be there a couple of years. I don't think they would have done that much construction.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I just think they'd want to, even with all the changes that are coming up. I would want to make it look as clean as possible. Because we've been in construction zone for quite a while now, so it's nice to see it coming together and. Drawing people, I guess, in that area and to stay in that area. I still haven't checked out the live music over there. I just never make it out that way. But it's hard once you're in the park to wander out to downtown Disney. But I think I'm hoping that that's the goal, is to kind of get us to want to go to that end, right? Not just to go to walk to our car or go to the hotel, but to spend time and money on that side of the downtown Disney. So,
well, speaking of other downtown Disney stuff, so I've been communicating with Scott Gooston, who's also on X, and he works for the Orange County Register, and we've been bantering back different things that I've heard through my rumor mill and sources from the Berry Patch, and he actually mentioned to me that he saw a permit for the ESPN zone building, and it's been split now into 3 different addresses. So I thought that's kind of interesting. So that means that there's going to be 3 different, businesses going into that one building. And we've been wondering for a while, what the heck is going to happen? Well, looks like now they're going to have 3 different businesses. What those businesses are, we don't know yet. But I thought it was interesting, and I appreciate Scott for, bringing that up to me. But yep, looks like we're going to have a few more businesses over there in that area. And still, we still don't have a definitive answer on what's going on with Earl's Sandwich, and I'm still betting that my sources are right, and that Porto's is not coming to downtown Disney. So, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I think it does great right where it is.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a prime spot, which is why it's weird that Disney would put Porto's there, because Porto's is already a draw. You would think that you'd want Porto's a little bit away from the main gate to pull people.
Right.
It's like if you want to go to Porto's, you're going to have to sacrifice a little bit of time. But I guess Porto's being Porto's is like, oh, we want the prime spot. So.
Yeah.
Well, we will see.
I know.
Yeah. All I know is they're doing Earl dirty with that little trailer back there in the corner. Behind. That's so terrible.
Well, it is, but they still have the main restaurant, the tavern that they're using, so that has not gone away. But yeah, it's kind of weird that if they do have to go away, that trailer is not going to be that great. So
no, and there's been a few people that have said that they will not buying anything from the trailer.
Aw, it's a nice looking trailer. Come on. Jeez.
Got the big logo and everything.
It does.
I don't know why it's different, but you're like, you see a food truck, right? That's all the craze. And they're like, all right, food trucks.
Well, I mean, it almost would have been better to do 2 food trucks and do it that style, but
yeah, so we'll have to see what happens there.
Yeah.
So speaking of food.
Perfect segue.
Yeah, it's a perfect segue. Let's get to it.
All right. So I just wanted to, I was able to partake to do all 3 of the dining packages for Fantasmic, starting opening night. And then I did Friday, Sunday, Monday, I think. So we started with Riverville Terrace, and then I was able to do Rancho del Zocalo and then Blue Bayou. So I wanted to share the first one. I'm sharing a little bit more because it was the first night, and it was pretty crazy that night, quite hectic. But just to kind of show you what spots, I was able to get in the viewing area, and then get a look at some of the food that we were able to try. So we all got to try it. Christina was with me for all 3, and CL got to try all 3. We got to do Blue Bayou, which was a wonderful treat. So I'm going to go ahead and share this. We'll talk through it, but I put some little clips together so we can kind of go through this. Oh, cool. It's already playing. All right. So this is Riverdale Terrace. This you know what? It was so sad.
Wait.
It was like a vegan oatmeal.
Pause the video real quick. Go back to that sandwich. So what? You don't have to.
Yeah, you're sitting here talking about the sandwich, and you're looking at this amazing sandwich. You say it was so sad.
It was so sad.
What was so sad?
It was so sad.
Did you get to eat it?
So we all kind of had a different take on it. So as you can see, it's like Texas toast, right? 3 slices of Texas toast, which the bread was actually really, really good. And then you had the fries on the side. So the first layer was like a Nashville chicken. So a spicy chicken breast, and they had the coleslaw at the bottom. And then the second layer was their mac and cheese brisket that they always have there as one of their normal dishes, but they put it in the sandwich. I was good with the chicken, so we all kind of disassembled our sandwiches because
Well, yeah, you can't bite into that.
There's different ways, and I'm like, hey, just take it apart. So Christina, myself, and CL all got that, and I didn't put those in here, but because I didn't take a separate video. But Devin got he had it was like a grits It was a vegan dish. He was so funny because he was getting all the vegan stuff, and then it was like squash salad. But I don't know. It was just the oddest. They were the oddest meals. And then he got like this Pixar like pudding, so it was like blue and yellow, and it had pop rocks that you could put on top for his dessert.
Interesting.
So yeah, so nobody really cared for the meal. Unfortunately, I didn't like the mac and cheese, so we did not, no doggy bags from this restaurant. And
Wow.
this was their lunch
Mm.
dinner. They
Yeah,
have
I'm seeing Slim put the food was gross.
yeah,
It's kind of crazy.
it was.
The sandwich looks fantastic. I'll
It
say
does look
that.
good. Yeah, no, it looks great. This meal, so this was because they have two different ones. There's a standard and then a premium. The premium is equal to like the Blue Bayou in price. It's $89.
Oh, it
because-
is that much, huh?
Yeah, this one was 55 because we were going to get our little ticket and then go find a spot right once the show started.
Oh,
For the $89, you get a table
for
that we can go-
Fantasmic.
Yeah.
Mm.
But there's very few like times for that. Those are really tough to get. I'm curious to see what it looks like from there because I kind of saw people, they put their chairs like all the way back in that little outdoor patio area so they could, I guess, how it's a little bit on a slant. So they went as high as they could to see over because you're watching everybody walk across, right?
Right.
Across through,
Mhm.
and then the people that are actually viewing in the standby area. So, but yeah, you pay premium for that. Again, this was 55, as well as if you did the brunch. For the brunch, they had like a scramble skillet, and then pancakes was the other offering, and that's 55 as well.
Brian
$55
Savia
for pancakes.
saying, ooh,
I know. Well, I asked Coda because he did that, and he's like, I don't know if the value was there for the.
Ooh.
Brian Savia saying Blue Bayou is such a ripoff.
Okay. Well, when I'll show you our experience because I think that has a lot to do with, in my opinion, has a lot to do with it. So yeah, you get your.
Okay, what is this?
You know what was good? This is a cherry. They called it a cherry cobbler crumble. It's
Mhm.
vegan, so the ice cream, it's all vegan. And Christina said, she's like, I don't know where they how they can call this a cobbler because it was basically oats. It seemed like a very healthy I loved it, but it seemed like a very healthy dish, with the oats crunchy on top. I'll show you this. The one thing we all could agree on was the soup. Oh, there's the menu.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, soup. This was a chicken. Oh, what was it? Now I need to look at the menu. A chicken pot pie soup.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that was delicious.
It almost looks like the gumbo.
Like I would have loved to have like a bowl of that versus the sandwich.
Mm-hmm. But it had real cherries in the cherry cobbler, right?
Yeah, it did.
Okay, good.
Yeah. No, I thought that was tasty.
And
That's slim. Okay, the soup was
looks
actually good. All right. So this is I just kind of wanted to show you, and it speeds up, but whoops. This was after fireworks because I had watched the first showing with the Membies had a spot
For the second show, okay.
for 2 hours on the other side, kind of in front of Golden Horseshoe area.
Yeah, they haven't
And then
started.
we had to wait until the fireworks were done. That's what we said. We have to stay here. So we all stood there until the fireworks were done. Then I was like trying to run over there so I could get in line. So I probably waited in this line. So this was the queue just to then hand them your ticket, right? To get into that area where you actually, get to talk to them and give them your ticket. So I was probably there for maybe 15 minutes before we started walking in. And it was a little confusing that night, just because it was all new. So they had like Blue Bayou and Riverbell, they had us all kind of lumped together, and then Rancho was in the middle section of that little kind of where that ramp area that goes down. And then there were people waiting for standby against the fence. So as you go, there'll be one stop where it's for Blue Bayou because they're right front and center, and then Riverbell Terrace area is to the right of Blue Bayou.
So the Riverbell Terrace area is actually closer to Riverbell Terrace on that side of
Yes.
it? Okay.
But you have to enter from the Haunted Mansion side, correct?
Yes, everybody has to enter by Harbor Galley, so that's the main entrance for all of the dining packages.
And
So you didn't know how many people were in front of you because, right, we were all mixed in. But I was lucky enough to get a spot right in front of the
Good evening, friends.
the bars.
In just 30 minutes, the
unplug you
rivers
guys
of
for a
America will
second.
come alive with a sensational sight.
Here's the crowd. Oh, and there's everyone else. I waited. They went and had fun. I was like, I'm waiting here.
Welcome to
So it's a
Fantasmic.
pretty good spot.
Tonight,
I
our
think
friend and host Mickey
my
Mouse
house at Riverbell
uses
Terrace
his vivid imagination to create magic
looks like a
and
great
imagery
spot.
for all to enjoy.
a pretty superior spot. But that's kind of your view. You're a little bit farther from the stage, right? You're on that side. But it was unobstructed. I just kind of put my gimbal on the little ledge there at the bottom. And then
how cute, they miniaturized Mickey Mouse. Look at that.
and I was like, I don't want to do too much. But yeah, so that's, good little view of the show from there. But I thought this was cool. Like when the floats went by, it was a really nice spot to be in because you're like, you keep your gimbal there, your phone, and you're like, see everything.
Close, look at that.
But I thought some of these scenes, I'm like, these are good kind of ways to gauge if you like the spot or not.
Watch this, Wendy.
I like the Peter Pan version so much better.
Do you really? I'm torn. So what I do like is wherever you're sitting, you get a different view, right? Of the show, of what's going on. Like even on the Peter Pan.
No, you will deal with
Different
me.
versions of
And all because of my imagination.
So yeah, you're like, I thought this was a good spot. See everything. I didn't really get wet. Like you're so far away that you weren't really in that splash zone. So that was kind of nice.
Yeah, depending on how the wind is blowing can determine whether or not you're going to get wet.
Yeah, but like when you look at when you go over to the left side, like the Rancho side or the start of the standby, you're much closer
Okay.
to everything. So it's. And then I wanted to show this because we all noticed the first show there were even less characters. This was the second showing on the first night. It's still kind of sparse, right? We got to see more than we did in the first show. And as always, it changes. Every show, every night, you don't know what characters, how many you're going to get. It's always a surprise.
proper experience for what they're paying for.
Yeah, that was not too cool. But okay, so the next time I did this, it was Fantasmic. So let me just can I pause there?
Rancho
So
del
that-
Zocalo.
Let me just do this. No, I can't really. Okay, there. So these are the options. I know that some people got the potato tacos, and they were like, yeah, they were okay. I heard good things about the sweet and sour or the sweet and spicy shrimp tacos. We got the sweet and savory carne asada, which was delicious, and then the cake was great. And then you get a beverage, right? Every restaurant they give you a beverage, so you get to do that.
Mm-hmm. But sorry, real quick, potato tacos, really? What happened to doing like chicken tacos or?
It's their
The
vegetarian.
vegetarian. Yeah.
Oh, never mind. Forget it.
So then they even have a different dessert, which Brian Sevilla was in the chat at the time, and he said they have another dessert, and he thought it was better than the cake. So I asked about it, and they said it goes with the potato tacos because it's a vegetarian.
Well, it's kind of dumb that you can't choose it if they have.
I probably could have pushed. For it, but I was like, I'll just try the cake.
Well, Yeah, but my thing is like they've got some nice options here, but it's only 4 real options for the entrees, and you think that they would give you maybe one of the entrees that they already have there, like the burritos or something. So it's kind of, to me, the menu is a little disappointing. I mean, they got a few good things on there, but I just was kind of like, huh. Sorry, totally forgot about the vegan people out there. So my apologies, but yeah, I totally get the potato tacos.
So Brian said, yeah, they let him switch. I didn't push it because I really wanted to try the cake. So I was like, okay. I think that was the first time I had it. But I think that this menu was kind of, in my opinion, a little bit of an upgrade over the regular menu because I'm not a huge fan of Rancho normally. Like I don't go there. So, and then but it's interesting that they took away the rice and beans from the regular menu, but on this one they give you rice and beans. So it was like, oh, we're gonna give you something that used
they
to
give rice and beans for the regular menu.
They stopped doing it.
Yeah, not anymore. Yep, you just get chips. You get some chips.
Clearly, it's been a few weeks since I've been there. Okay.
Yeah, and it just happened 3 weeks ago. It like around the same time they introduced.
Oh, see, I was going to say it's been a few weeks since I've been there. Oh, that's going to disappoint my daughter.
They took that away, and then there's what kind of rice? See, it's green. The rice is green. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, cilantro rice. Cilantro lime. So they give you lime on the side, so you can put that on, whatever you want. But everybody said it was bland, which it was, I will say. But I like to mix, so I'll take like a little bit of rice and then, with the carne asada. So to me, I couldn't tell because I'm like, oh, well, I had it with something that was really flavorful, so I didn't notice. But that was probably the biggest, the feedback that I got most was that the rice was bland. So, but I thought it was tasty. Everybody really liked the carne asada, so and it was prepared really well. So you get 2 strips. And then you can't beat the view, right? Thunder Mountain right there. And then here is, I got the front again, so the wrong one. I think I picked the wrong one. No. We went to the first show. I'm sorry. We went to the first show just to kind of see what it would be like to be standby. So this was, we just kind of sneaked in there and watched the first show. Not too bad. Right there by the kind of break through the bathroom versus Bayou. So that is that area. I thought it was pretty good. And as you stand higher, farther back, you get a better. And then we waited, and we got in line with for our eating area, so we just got the fireworks up there, in line. So we were like third in line or something for our dining area.
You remain seated at all times, no flags.
Not right up front, so this is your view for the rancho. You get there early, which I thought this was a really good spot too. You get a little more of a flash drum here, and the fire is I don't know if I show it here. The fire is like right there in front of you. But yeah, it's a nice area, and I feel like I could hear the music a little better over here. Should have just left it. And there's our Fantasmic moment and wild ride. You kind of get this right scene. There's more of it. You get a pretty good scene of the Peter Pan. And then here's our scene with a lot more.
Oh, Pluto's there, Chip and Dale are there on the bottom now.
So that's the one thing I would say. You sit right up front. I guess I could have aimed it right, put it on the ground and kind of aimed it, but I felt like I had to lift it right in the.
Wait, so you had to sit on the ground for that one?
Yes.
Yeah, everybody in the seating area, you're on the ground. You're not allowed to stand up there.
Oh, so then you got the gate right in front of you?
Yeah, but if you get the very front, you can set the gimbal fits perfectly on the little ledge, and then you just put your camera in between.
I saw another streamer do that, and I was kind of like, "Oh, that's a great idea." Ooh, what if that falls in the water?
Well, it was good because my phone was big enough that it was like it's not going to fall through. Well, I guess it could, but
right,
going crazy. So this is the Blue Bayou menu. They had the fish of the day. They had a ribeye with shrimp, filet mignon with crab on top. I think there's a few other options there, but we ended up all three of us got the filet mignon. But it's a $10 upcharge. So it's $89, but if you want the steak, it's $99.
Wow. Even with the ribeye too?
Yeah, it's a huge ribeye. I saw Coda took a picture of his because he was going too. He was like doing all the packages too. So he went there, I think 2 or 3 times. So yeah, he got the ribeye and the shrimp. So that actually looks really. I like ribeye too, but I'm like, ooh, filet, right? Like that just sounded very good. This soup, the gumbo, that was like amazing.
Yeah, I've always heard good things about the gumbo.
And then you get bread. And
what? They gave you bread?
And look at these things. We all were like, are these mozzarella sticks? What are they giving us? It's the butter, but it's just.
I was going to say that.
Sticks.
That looks a little raw for.
But there's the fillet with the crab on top, and then bolognese. Well, not bolognese. What was it?
It looks like a small fillet.
Hollandaise.
Not a. What did you going to say?
No, is it Béarnaise sauce or
Béarnaise? Yeah.
Don't get saucy with me, Béarnaise.
And then there's the cute dessert.
Okay, so go back to that steak because that thing looked tiny. Was it tiny? I mean, that doesn't even look like
it actually. It looks smaller than it was. Like it was pretty. I wish I had it better.
Because you're talking about this huge ribeye, that they have, and then you got the filet mignon, and like, beep, right there.
Well, fillets sometimes tend to be a little bit on the small side, just because it's such a tender cut.
And it was thick, you know what I mean? Like it was.
And then if you add, the seafood on top of it, of course they're gonna, go a little bit lighter on the cut for the fillet.
So it was good. Christina didn't care for the belly giant asparagus, but that we got a table right at the water, so
Did you throw anyone a roll?
We tried. No one asked. Otherwise, I would. But yeah, so that was pretty cool. It was they were wonderful there. I just have to say, like, we had a whole thing go on, and they just were awesome. The cast was and so our dinner was later, so we didn't line up for the second show. We went in and it was everyone had pretty much already been seated. So we were at the back of the Blue Bayou. So great, it's a large center, but it gives you an idea of, you know, if you do any of these, kind of what
So, were you sitting here as well?
I like this part. Like, kind of over there.
You caught fish? Here.
It's such a beautiful view of like this and all the floats crossing when you're right in front or you know at that like area. So those are the three spots, and for all three of those, I did the second show.
Gotcha.
I did the first show the other day for Rancho, and that was rough. It was just hard to get. I couldn't get a front spot. Like there were just so many people. So I recommend the second show. And
then, did you do the premium for the Riverbell Terrace, or was it just the regular?
We just did the regular because I just had a really hard time with the premium because I'm like, well, couldn't I just sit at Stage Door Cafe and get the same view?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Just in my mind, I'm like, I might eventually, but I wanted to try from Stage Door and just see like, what does the view look like from one of those tables? And, you know.
Was it okay?
I haven't done that yet because
okay.
you probably have to sit there a while, right, to hold the table.
Right. And so now that you've done 4 of these, kudos to you, by the way, for doing all that. And thank you for bringing us all this awesome information. But what was your favorite location and the food that you got then?
I really liked the Riverbell Terrace seating area. But I think Rancho was my favorite as far as food. Because I got the same thing again. When I went back, I got the same exact meal. And it was just as good the second time. And I think the Rancho viewing area is really good. There are no obstructions, right? Even if you're sitting in the back of that area, the tree's not blocking. You have a really good spot. Of course, they just sell more of them. So you just have to wait a little longer in line or get there earlier so that you know, if you want to get towards the front. But yeah, I think Rancho, as far as like value, is probably the best value, you know, at $35 because your meal already would have cost you what, 20, you know, possibly. So it's girl math, be like $15 for your dining area ticket. And you use your magic key, right? If you have a magic key, you get your discount.
Well, that's good
for all of them. So yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Well, since we're talking about Fantasmic, I mean, should we talk about what we thought of Fantasmic coming back?
Sure.
So what'd you think, Bob?
Well, so, you know, I was excited to see Fantasmic come back, and I had the pleasure of standing next to Theme Park Casual when we actually watched it for the first time together. I didn't get a chance to see it when it opened because I was on vacation with the family. But being there, I really actually enjoyed watching the show. It was great to see it come back and especially seeing the Peter Pan scene. We were a little off to the side over by the Tiana's Palace. I think we were like right in front of Tiana's Palace.
Right, where
so
Tiana's Palace meets the Haunted Mansion construction.
Right.
Walls.
So we had the tree there kind of blocked a little bit, and we had some lampposts too. And for all of our viewers, thank you for watching. And we were trying to get the cameras around the lampposts, but the only thing I didn't like obviously was the end, because I was hoping they would have something other than the B version with Maleficent, going up. They do show the dragon on the water screen, which is cool. And then, obviously, Mickey, takes her down, but I thought they were going to do a little bit more. Now, the thing is, they are working on a dragon, and we don't know when it's going to be ready. It might not be ready till next year, but they're working on another dragon, and I think it's going to be great when we can have it come back. But until then, it looks like this is how it's going to be. So that was the only disappointing thing for me, other than the fact that, let's talk about, where we were to watch it. It wasn't the worst place, but it wasn't the greatest. But it makes it very difficult with all these new seating that they have for all the people who are buying the seats. It does make it a little more difficult to, try to find a place to stand and watch the show. So, Casual, Cordy, what did you think?
Well, I've got to see it twice so far. I saw it on opening night. Me and Casual Junior, we were at the second row of planters right in front of Cafe Orleans. So we were like almost dead center. We were just a little bit off from the main lighting tower, which was fine. I mean, you were a little far back, and you had, some people walking, across the planter. But, for the most part, Fantasmic is Fantasmic. So I love that. I've always had my little issues with Fantasmic 2.0. So there's still those little issues that I have with it. But the dragon, yeah, I'm torn as to whether or not they should have brought it back without the dragon, or had some sort of replacement for the dragon, because it's like, it just needs that climax. And without the dragon, those of us who have seen Fantasmic, I'm sure people who are seeing Fantasmic for the first time, it's just wonderful. They don't really notice anything. But those of us who know that the dragon is supposed to be there, it just feels like something's missing. It feels like a anticlimactic battle. But like I said, other than that, Fantasmic is Fantasmic. I still get, the wonderful fuzzy feeling when Mickey bursts at the top of the Mark Twain, and when he's commanding the fireworks at the end, it's still just spot on perfection. So I just wish we could have got some sort of dragon.
I agree. Well, since we've heard all about your food, what did you think of it, Cordy?
I love Fantasmic, dragon or not. I just love the show. So I'm so happy it's back. But I mean, yes, was it much cooler with the dragon? Yes. But I still loved it. I think, it's already calming down. We'll get back to the place where we'll be able to
swoop in and get a good shot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's even I was like, because I'm like, I would watch it almost every night that I went, when it was there. And I was there last night with Jessica and Crystal, and we were just standby. So we're looking for a spot. I'm like, oh, the stairs. So then we're standing on the stairs. I'm like, yes. And then everyone behind us was sitting down. I said, oh, no, they're going to make them stand up. They always make them stand up. Well, they didn't. So then we felt bad. So I'm like, well, I guess we'll sit down. But then you can't really get the same view.
Right.
Standing up on the stairs. Oh, my gosh. So I'm like, I guess I need to kind of relearn how it's going now.
Right. Yeah.
Cast members, right? Everything has changed. So, but I mean, that's kind of the fun of it, right? Like looking for the best spots. I have a few places that I want to scope out and, see if I can.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those things where you watch the other streamers, what did they do? Did they get a good spot? How did it work that night? Try it again, oh, it didn't work that night. So they got lucky and, all those kind of things. And try to figure out, how to play the crowds. So
yeah, but I love the vibe. I love that we have a show,
Yeah, that's what I said. It's like Fantasmic is Fantasmic, but I'll tell you what, if you go back and watch a video, somebody stream with the dragon, you just go, man, that thing is impressive. You really, I think we took it for granted how
True.
impressive that thing was, because when you watch it, especially if you see somebody's video, when you see a side from like, you know, over near the Mark Twain dock, and you're like being able to see the silhouette of it, you know, coming up and going down, that thing is amazing. Like I said, I was blown away all over again just watching a video. I was just like, man, that thing was just a feat that they were able to pull something like that off twice a night, every single night for years. You know, it really was impressive. And I hope whatever we get, you know, the new Murphy, I hope it's just as impressive, because that thing, gosh, that thing was so cool looking.
I saw you put mystery guest, popped it up there. I was reading that. I'm like,
Yeah.
that is for a lot of people. The Mark Twain with all of the characters, for a lot of people, that is like.
Oh yeah. That like I said, for me, I can never decide which is my favorite part. Is it when Mickey bursts up and there he is, a Steamboat Willie, you know, doing the wheel and everything, or is it when he's, you know, finally at the end, you know, he defeated everything, he's in charge, and he's up at the top in the sorcerer's outfit? It's like, I don't know which one's better, you know.
Well, I like this suggestion. Holly says they need to put Paul to come out in a hula skirt and twirl fire. And of course, Paul said, just as long as I get paid well.
All right, so we were talking about the Mark Twain Cab Family Adventures. They put out a video. They did this on their live stream, but then they snagged just the piece. They were over at Hungry Bear at the river's edge, and they were watching all the floats and the boats coming off stage, basically. And you get to wave, and all the characters are still interacting with people. It looks so fun to be back there for that. So if you go and you really want to, you know, say hi to the characters, go back by Hungry Bear before it gets behind the construction walls, of course, and give that a shot, because it looked just so fun, because there's all the characters, everybody's waving, you can yell their names and they'll wave back to you, all of that stuff. Peter Pan and Hook are still, you know, doing their thing on the boat, and you get to see how, you know, the princesses that come and dock right there, how they have to quickly get over and scurry because they got to go get in place on the Mark Twain, because that's about to start taking off. It's just, it's really neat to see it from there. So Cab Family Adventures, you can go check out their video. But I may have to, you know, go and thank them for doing that on one of my streams, because I really want to go check that out.
Yeah, it's really cool. I got to see some of that during the Star Wars Star Wars night, when they had, you know, the Cantina band get off from there. And it's always neat when you see characters, even Queenie and the Jambalaya band, you see them, you know, get off from there. So yeah, it's great. If you can get over there in just the right time, it's awesome.
Yeah, that's a fun area. Yeah, that I need to check that out. I saw that they posted, but I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. But yeah, they do a great job. So transitioning over, we're going to talk a little bit more about things going on during the summer. So we're going to hop on over to Knott's Berry Farm.
Yes, we are.
And lots of fun. I'm looking forward to this because I had total FOMO last summer because I did not have a pass. I know I haven't been there in a while, but but I'm looking forward to checking out Summer Nights. So
yeah, definitely. So Summer Nights is coming back this June 14th through September 2nd of 2024. It's going to be select nights, obviously. So it's basically I believe it's just, isn't it like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is typically when they do it, the bands and everything.
Last year they did it nightly, but that was only probably the like June 14th to about the end of July, and then it goes to like you said, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday usually.
Yeah. Of course, they're going to have some amazing bands there. Theme Park Casual did an amazing job covering Not Summer Nights last year, you know, going back and forth between the bands, which is great. And I was enjoying watching his streams when I could, because it was a lot of fun when I couldn't be there, obviously. But it was really neat because, you know, they have it's not just the bands, it's the food, it's the fun, it's the, and when they don't have band going on, they got a DJ going on too. Or if one band leaves, another band comes onto another stage. So it's just really, really cool. They do have a summer dining bundle, and I want to show this to you. It's admission plus all day dining. So it's single day admission, includes all day dining, select flavors from summer items available, which is nice. So you can get not just what's on the menu, but you can get some of the summer items available as well. The cool thing about this is if you do this and you don't have a pass, you get to get one entree and a side as often as every 90 minutes. Now, with the regular dining plan that I have for the all season, you can only do it every 4 hours and you can only do it twice a day. But here you could do it, every 90 minutes. Now, that's a lot of food to eat, in one whole entire day, but that is really, really worth it. Obviously, drinks aren't included, but you can buy, the drink cup for the day that has unlimited refills if you do that. But it's really, really good, and it's a lot of fun.
If they're open like till 10 p.m., you could basically get 7 meals if you time everything perfectly. So you can have 7 meals. And yes, I've done that.
Bring your Tupperware.
Wow.
Well, no, actually, you don't even need to, because the last meal of the night, you can ask for a to-go box and you can just box it up and take it home. I've done that lots of times where, getting ready to leave the park, go grab some tri-tip or, some nice barbecue and head on out.
That's some good inside information there. One of the cool things they do too is they have these, big, summer deck chairs that they have out that say summer nights on them that you can get your photos on, which are really, really cool. There it is, a better shot of the summer nights chair. They have the stages with all the different, bands. Is that the 90s rock band, I think, right there?
No, that's no 90s rock band usually plays on the smaller stage.
Oh, never mind. But they have some really, really good bands that play, and musicians. I mean, it's just a lot of fun. So I definitely recommend it. If you guys can get out there, do it. Now, at the same time, they're also doing the Ghost Town Alive. So if you can, go to Knott's, and I'll bring that up too. Ghost Town Alive. So I'll share this tab with you. So this is the Ghost Town Alive, where they have actors that actually come out and they actually, will send you on little errands or talk to you or, just make a lot of fun. Again, this is select days, June 14th through the September 2nd. But it's like being the Old West, and it's a lot of fun.
And it starts right at, I'd say rope drop, but at the start of the day, they have the ribbon cutting for Ghost Town Alive. So they've got the mayor who comes out, and they've got a couple other actors that are different, townsfolk, and they do a ribbon cutting, and it's Founders Day, and it starts right off at 10 a.m. and it goes all the way till like 4:30, 5 o'clock almost.
Yeah, so 4:30 is when they have their Western Hoedown for the Founders Day, and so you can go and they do a whole thing about Founders Day, which is really, really cool. And then
they make someone an honorary sheriff. They do square dancing. They do the big giant conga line all through Ghost Town. It really is a ton of fun. It's amazing to see what they pull off with this.
Here's a little video. Let me show you this video because this gives you an idea of what Ghost Town Alive is like. Okay, that just makes me want to go check it out.
I know. I was going to say, I was like, that looks like a ton of fun, and
right?
I'm not, and that's the good thing about Ghost Town Alive is you can get into it as into it as you want. You can play there the whole day, playing off the characters, doing the little errands, getting all the stuff, and working with all the actors, or you can pop in, have a couple of jokes, find out what's going on with things, and they'll joke around with you, tell you the story of where we're at and all these things, and then move on. And it is a wonderful wonderful little thing that Knott's does.
I'm ready to go.
And the kids love it.
Founders Day
Kids
Hoedown right
love
now.
it.
Yeah, they do. I think I may have told you guys this story before, but my daughter and I went to the saloon and we went to share a dessert up there. And one of the actors just came up and he sat down and he acted like he just got a drink from the bar. And he's like, yeah, been here before? Oh, you're going to go to the hoedown today? Oh yeah. Founders Day today. You going to be there at 4:30? I hope I see you there. I mean, the whole time he's just acting out as if he was a real live person in the town of Calico. And it's really, really cool. And it's fun. It's exciting. It's different.
And mystery guest, yes, Cordy could show up with a holster and cowboy boots. People dress up for this and play along. So they completely encourage, cosplaying and just going full bore with it. So you would not look at a place. Nobody would think anything of it if you went in full Western garb and ready to play.
Right.
That's interesting.
Now,
I'm surprised.
The other thing they have that's coming out this summer, and they haven't given us a day yet, but it's the new Camp Snoopy at Knott's Berry Farm, which is really, really cool. So there's more to explore. We've kind of been through this before about how they're going to have the new Tender Paw Twister Coaster. They're going to have the new Sally Swing Along, the new Camp Snoopy Off-Road Rally, and more. So it's going to be really, really cool. The train is being redone. It's going to be electric train now. It was supposed to open Memorial Day weekend, but due to rain and construction fallback, they've had to postpone it. But it is still due to open this summer. So that's something to look forward to as well. And then one of the other things I wanted to show you guys too, let me bring it up real quick because I forgot to bring this one up. But they have a new Camp Snoopy show on Apple Plus or Apple TV Plus. And it's really cute. Now, I got a lot of questions from some of my subscribers going, hey, are they actually going to come out with this the same time they launch Camp Snoopy? Well, there's a good chance they might. I have no idea. But let me show you the little trailer for that. I think it's kind of cute so you guys can see what it looks like. So give me 1 second here. All right. Oops.
It's a fun way to experience the great outdoors. Working together with their trusty troop of Beagle Scouts can achieve anything. Good grief. Camp's the best. What should we do? Go fishing? Roast marshmallows? Hiking? Go canoeing? Why can't I have a normal dog? Camp is supposed to be about the fun and excitement of being with friends. And a true friend makes the good days better. Being there for others is the greatest accomplishment of all.
We get it! You're cute! Ease up!
That looks amazing.
That looks like so much fun, doesn't it? Oh, sorry. I thought I closed that. Okay. I thought I closed that out. Oops. I was still playing in my ear. But yeah, that is so much fun. I mean, I'm looking at that going, that looks really cool. And, the Peanuts movies are always classics and they're always fun to watch. But I mean, this is something brand new and I'm kind of glad. It's like, why didn't they do something like this sooner? So I wonder if they were trying to, launch at the same time as, Camp Snoopy was coming out. Who knows? But it's
I know there's another Camp Snoopy at one of the other Cedar Point parks.
Yes.
Or Cedar Fair parks. I can't
Yes.
remember which one has it. But it just opened and it's got it's Snoopy's Soapbox Racers, and that coaster train looks amazing as well.
Cedar Point is where it's at.
Oh, it is Cedar Point. Okay.
It is Cedar Point. But the thing is that for me, when they named it the Soapbox Racer, I'm like, did they bring back the Soapbox Racer
Yeah, I know.
Snoopy
I was
style?
thinking the same
And then I was
thing.
like, oh no, it's not. Never mind. Got my hopes up. But it looks great, and I'm so glad that they're doing Camp Snoopy at not just Knott's Berry Farm, but other Cedar Fair parks too. Because the Peanuts gang is such a great property, and they're a lot of fun. So.
Yeah, and that cartoon looks like they captured the spirit of Peanuts because it looks like the jokes and all the stuff. It looks like spot on to the same stuff that we grew up with.
Yeah, they did a good job on that. So Doom says, "I'll never forget the Time Machine Dark Ride." What is that?
Kingdom of the Dinosaurs.
Kingdom of the Dinosaurs. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
It was
I
an interesting
was
one.
Back. Well, it was, but it was fun, interesting. See, that had a good storyline. Oh, did I say something? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that early. I was a little premature there. We'll talk about that in a moment.
The only thing I'm kind of nervous. I hope that the electric train still has some sort of steam whistle and the whole little kind of stuff going on. Because if it's just, like a Tesla riding up next to you, that's going to be a little.
I'm sure
little bit of a.
What I know, I'm sure it will. I mean,
like I said, as long as it's got the steam whistle and maybe does a little, noise, something. But yeah, if it's completely electric to be, way modern, I'm not going to be all that thrilled with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll have to see how it goes. I want to see it. I'll see it. I'm reserving. I don't know anything about it, so.
I didn't know they were doing that. So that train is the train, right?
Mm-hmm. The little train in the High Sierra Railway that it was called is now going to be
electric.
Oh.
Yeah, and they're doing a whole new scene, Peanut scene. So I think that'll be really cool. I saw them working on it, and most of the dirt was dug up, and they're just kind of redoing the area. But I think it's gonna be nice too. So it's just one of the things we have to look forward to. What I really like. Oh, by the way, everyone's been asking, and they did say this in case anyone didn't know, but the clock that they took away for the Camp Snoopy shop is going back. So you'll hear the tick-tock clock. But they have some really cool new merchandise there too. And I had taken some photos. I just need to post them. But yeah, it looks really, really neat. I like what they've done. And the shop has been refreshed inside, and it looks better. It feels better. Actually, to me, it feels a little more, I don't know, it feels a little bit bigger inside the way they've done it. So
yeah, Knott's has been doing really well with the merchandise too. They're leaning into their own properties and trying to, kind of connect people to the park a little bit better, which is nice. So I do like that. There were a couple of hats that they came out with that look really good. There's one for the Stagecoach and one for Ghost Rider, looking really good.
Yep, exactly. Before we go,
G-Man, that's a good one. I like that G-Man.
What did G-Man say? When the accordion meets these fellows, and they knew that it was much more than a hunch, that this group somehow form a family. That's why they all became the live streamer bunch. Very good. I want to say thank you to G-Man. He always comes into all of our streams. He takes the time to say hi to us, but he also comes with these really cool poems and little, sayings that he puts out there. And not only does he have these funny sayings, but sometimes he puts some really cool history stuff out there about the rides or attractions. So I just want to say, from all of us, G-Man, thank you so much for making our streams fun and unique and just exciting. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Always happy to see G-Man in the chat. You're like, all right, what do you? It's got something for it.
Yep.
Well, I remember when I first got the AT&T phone, I was like, somebody let G-Man know. He's always harping on me about that. I need to get the phone. I finally got it.
Too funny. Okay, what was our next topic?
I think,
Cordy?
wasn't it the one everyone's been waiting for?
Well, before we do that, can we talk about something else real quick?
Sure.
So I wanted to bring it up because Scott Gooston posted something, and Theme Park Casual shared with me last week, and that is this. Let me bring it up real quick. because I'd mentioned something on our previous streams regarding, some of the construction. We've talked about permits and things like that. They've got some really, interesting things going on, with the Haunted Mansion right now and Cafe New Orleans and, and whatnot. But I had reported that they were going to shut down, or they were going to have to redo the bridge for the Splash Mountain / Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Now, one thing I did is I got on the train last week and I videotaped it, and I forgot to send it to myself so I could actually show it on the show tonight. So my apologies for that, because I was going to show you some of the construction. But one of the things that Scott says here is that Disneyland shared an update to the constructions in New Orleans Square and Critter Country on July 8th. Hungry Bear Restaurant will close for refurbishment. David Crockett Explorer canoes will be temporarily closed. The bridge from New Orleans Square to Galaxy's Edge will temporarily close. What? Are you serious? Yep. And there it is. If you read it, first thing up there is the bridge connecting New Orleans Square with Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, but also connects it to Critter Country, will temporarily close beginning July 8th, 2024. Guests can access Star Wars Galaxy's Edge via the Frontierland entrance. That means no more will you be able to walk around and go from New Orleans to Galaxy's Edge. They are shutting that whole thing down. Now, they have not put any permits out, and I don't think we're going to see anything till closer to July 8th or after July 8th, but I guarantee you we are going to see something in the permits regarding the closure of that bridge, and that they'll be redoing it. Because what I had reported previously from the Berry Patch is that my source had basically said that the bridge is not up to code and they have to redo it. And it's a big, undertaking they weren't expecting to do, and it's putting construction behind. So maybe that's one of the things that will, delay it, and hopefully it won't. And then, of course, they're really digging out that whole back area behind the Briar Patch, which is now going to be Raised Berets, where I reported that they're having some weird smell come from that area, and they're having to redo all the electrical. So they're doing a lot of work. It looks like they've really kind of flattened out most of that area. And, obviously they need to redo it, but that's going to be closed starting July 8th. And we don't know when it's going to be open. It hasn't said yet. So what do you guys think about that?
That's
it's going to be interesting.
There's no run into Rise of the Resistance after watching fireworks at Rivers anymore.
No. Yeah. So now if you watch the fireworks from Falcon, you've got a good shot of getting over to Rise and swoop in, hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. And we had the Moana 2 trailer that came out, and whatnot. And then nothing really for the permits when I let me stop sharing that screen real quick. So for the permits, basically all that's been, let's see, we've got a lot of stuff going on with the Haunted Mansion. They're actually getting ready to put up, let's see, development of 227 foot. Oh, that's weird. Inch foot over 7 foot walls with water fountains. So they're putting a new water fountain in, and the new, it says pilasters of 7 feet tall. So I guess they're going to put in, it looks like maybe they're going to be new light poles or some new walls of some sort that are going to be there. But it looks like they're putting the fountain back, and everyone was kind of worried about that. But it does show that they're doing that. And by the way, they just released that today, actually. And that was a plan revision. And then, of course, they're doing some point of sale stuff over at Cafe New Orleans. They're doing, let's see. Oh, here they're putting in new modular buildings that include restrooms, an office with changing rooms. And they're doing electrical and plumbing. And this is for, what's the BOH? It says BOH Care Center. I'm not familiar with BOH.
BOH.
Yeah, BOH. I don't know what's BOH. Anybody know in the chat what BOH is?
BOH.
What does it say?
It says BOH Care Center, new commercial construction. They're going to put in 1,652 square feet of modular building that includes restrooms, an office, and changing rooms.
Back of house.
Back of house. There you go. All right. See? All right. And then I thought this is interesting too. So Matterhorn, they're putting in some 4 new non-folding umbrellas that are over 8 feet tall with electrical. So that is what's going on with the permits over there. Okay, I think we need to get to what we want to get to.
Yes, so we've all started to see, we got some sneak peeks, right? Official sneak peeks. And I thought I read something that they were doing some previews, but then the ride was down for 6 hours. Something happened. So I don't know if anybody actually got previews today like they thought. But Tiana's Bayou Adventure at Walt Disney World.
What? You got to be kidding already? What's going on? Yeah, on Saturday they actually released, and I'm going to go share the page right now, but they actually released a POV video of the actual ride. So let me bring that up because we're actually going to watch the video, and we're going to go through Disney's version of the ride. Now, there's a better version out there. We're going to show it to you and tell you where you can find it. But give me 1 second here. There we go. So this is the Disney Parks page here. And on the Disney Parks page, you can see that they got the full ride POV of Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So this thing is about 9 minutes long. It kind of transitions fairly well, but we're going to watch it. And I think it's important to watch it because the 3 of us want to talk about, the video quality and what they're showing and maybe why they're doing this. And then I've got a bunch of other things to show you and go through with you regarding the ride too. So I think we want to talk about the story. We want to talk about everything that entails this. So you may have seen this. If you've already seen this, just bear with us as we go through because some people have not seen this ride video. But this takes place at night. So some of the scenes are hard to see, especially outside, but at least you can see what it looks like.
Hey, there y'all are. Lewis is up ahead. Let's join him and find a band for our celebration. To the back.
Musicians! Man, it's hard to find a man in the
But I don't care. If you're looking for musicians, you don't have far to go. Tell me what I'm doing, so. Dad, we'll ask them to join the band for sure.
Where you going? We're going with you. Diggity go, baby. Go ahead down, Bayou. Go ahead down, Bayou. Go ahead down, Bayou.
I'm asking all of them to play at the party, but we've got to keep searching high and low.
How long can I go?
Time to think big. Time to get tiny. Where'd they go?
Don't know.
We have to find them.
Wow, this joint is hopping.
These tiny musicians you found really bring the heat.
Let's get you big again. Cause the bigger you are, the bigger the splash you'll make at the party. Now let's get you to the party. You'll get there in no time. Guaranteed. Hang on.
Sometimes it's hard to believe that the very thing you're looking for was right here all along. Which girl you want to darling, was your I see you. What a thing! Remember, this party wouldn't be what it is without you.
Okay. So that is Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So Disney released this early Saturday morning. I think to the surprise of everyone. I'm sure they wanted to probably get out in front of, everyone else. But in the history of Disney, I have never known Disney to ever release POV footage of a ride before it comes out. And I was kind of shocked and surprised by that. The only other thing I know that they've ever brought out a video for beforehand was Galactic Star Cruiser. And, they showed that. It didn't do very well, obviously, after they showed that. A lot of people canceled their tickets and their reservation things. But it was a first. So I was kind of surprised. It was great. It was a nice surprise to be able to see it. But enough for me. What do you guys think?
Cordy, I'll let you go.
Yep.
I'm always the one I'm looking forward to. I can't wait till we have it. I mean, it's the way I look at it too is like I understand, like, of course, it's like I was there when Splash Mountain first opened, right? I went that summer, so it's like I do understand it, but like what's done is done. So here we are, and I think it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's like it's somebody had mentioned earlier in the chat about no Dr. Facilia. Like I think they just wanted to keep it like more joyful, right? You got a little scary element kind of, but it's like it's more it's more joyful, I think. So I don't know. I love it. I love all the colors and how it was lit, it was at night, but it looked really nice, kind of as they were coming out and going, down the various little splash zones. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to. I think Disneyland's is going to play a little bit better because some of those scenes, it seems like there's enough there that it'll fill Disneyland's Splash Mountain, because ours is actually shorter. We have a shorter track. So I think it's going to tighten some of those scenes, so there's not going to be as much of that, kind of floating in the log time where there's really not a lot going on. The thing about it, this POV video was very poorly produced. It looks like they practically just told one of the social media people, here, get on there with an iPhone, here's a gimbal, and go do it. And it's somebody that doesn't really know what they're doing. It was like there was not much panning going on. They were, kind of locked in at times, it seemed. And so it was, I don't understand why they would have released such a poor quality video for such an important attraction. So that has me wondering, what was the motive here? Were they intentionally giving a less than video so that people will have the, good God type of reactions? And then once better video comes out and, people get on the ride and it starts getting, you start to see, oh, it's actually better than that. And so you get those naysayers at the beginning, and then you can kind of try to shut them up, with a follow-up. You know what I mean? And you think, oh, well, are they really that smart? You could ask ChatGPT, what's the best way to market a ride that's kind of controversial, and it would give you options, so those kind of things, that's me as the marketing person, thinking about this. Now, as far as what I think about the ride, Zippity Doo Dah, you're not going to get a better song. That is probably the number 2 song for Disney ever. I think only When You Wish Upon a Star would be a more, fitting anthem for the Disney company than Zippity Doo Dah. So music wise, it's just, it was an impossible task for that, as far as I'm concerned. Everybody's been talking about the storyline, and I agree. The storyline feels very, very weak. And I know, okay, well, does Splash have a story? Did you understand the story? Be that as it may, I'm judging it on this. I'm not going to compare it to Splash. I'm going to say, with this, watching the video, I feel like I'm watching a, preschool-esque Disney Channel show. I'm half expecting Tiana to say, help me, can you help me find the rabbit? Awkward pause. You found it. Good job. Kind of thing. It makes me feel like that. And it's like, that's not the kind of story I wanted. And if you're aiming it at such a young age group, a lot of them are too short to ride this ride. Had this been a dark ride, like a Fantasyland style dark ride, I'd be perfectly fine with it. I think, maybe it's pretty cute and the kids are going to love it. But when you put it in a thrill attraction that's really geared toward tweens and teens, this story, this idea of finding the band, it just seems very odd. It's a very odd choice to me. And to me, it's like, I'm looking at it and I'm trying to think, okay, how would I improve this without, basically gutting it and starting over? For me, it's like the whole shrinking thing. You needed some sort of tension there to, it's like, for me, if the whole time we're looking for the band, we're still trying to get away from Dr. Facilier, if that was an aspect of it or something, some sort of person, some force, some creature that is trying to keep us from getting to the party, then you have a reason for us to kind of hurry. We got to find the band. We got to get to the party. Somebody's trying to stop us from getting to the party, and then the got to make you tiny. I don't really understand why that was an aspect. It's a fun aspect, but it's like, I don't understand, okay, we get small and then, oh, well, let me make you big. It's just kind of like, okay, whatever. Whereas if you had somebody chasing you, then it's Mama Odie, quick, let's hide. Let me make you tiny. And you go hiding under all the leaves and the mushrooms to get away from whoever's chasing you. And then it's, oh my gosh, we got to get you out of here. Let's make you big again. Here we go. But you got to be careful. When you get big, you end up having to take a funny shortcut down the slide. There's just weird little things that, it could have been a little bit better to me. And again, I'm going off of a video, which I'm not going to, say that that's the be all end all, but just watching things like that. And then the awkward banners and signs and stuff, those as a graphic designer just drive me nuts. But
but I disagree as far as like what age child, because my daughter's like, she's still short. She's not even 5 feet tall now, but she was going, as soon as she could go on Splash, she was on it. So she was probably 7. And my sons went on younger because they were taller, but so that's kind of where I'm thinking, and Cab Family brought it up too with her kids, but like, I could see that being, and I guess I'm looking at it too through a lens of the next generation. Who cares what we think? You know what I mean? Like, this is supposed to be there for the next generations, not I wouldn't care what we thought, because you're like, yeah, what are the ones that are going to be going here for the next, 20 years or 25 years, like just here on out. So I kind of get it. I don't know if that's, what they were thinking, or if it's, we could all speculate on why they did it and why it looks like this. But I think, if we look through that lens of, aiming it towards the young kids, it kind of makes sense. That's why there's not a villain. That's why they're, you know, they've kind of explained things that they weren't going to follow the normal, you know, what the storyline was of the movie. And I'm sure they purposely left out the villain, right? So it wouldn't be like you're in the dark and you're scared. And for us, yeah, it'd be like, oh, that's fun. But, you know, if they're trying to, you know, draw in or make it for younger kids, then, you know, that might be a little bit too much for them. So, you know, who knows what their real thought behind everything was.
Yeah.
Well, so, you know, by the way, I've known the storyline pretty much for the last couple months. I've never told you guys. I was kind of told by my source not to say anything until I was told it was okay. And I was thinking I'm going to be able to say something the next couple weeks. And then they came out with the POV video. And I was like, well, that just stopped me from, you know, my you know, storytelling with all of you guys. But regardless, it's kind of perplexed me for a while, because to me, good storytelling is what Walt Disney is all about, right? And that's what Disneyland is all about. Even when you go on the dark rides, even though some of those dark rides can be a little scary for kids and whatnot, there's good storytelling throughout a lot of these rides, and that's what I think is missing from here. Does a ride look bright? Yes, obviously. Does it have some really cool characters? Absolutely. Does it have, you know, some really good settings? Sure. But my whole thing is that, and this is kind of where I'm coming from on this, is that I was hoping that they would actually just do Princess and the Frog, the movie, and that would be a lot better, because now we're telling the story of it. It's a great, you know, thing to talk about. My concern in might be a little controversial here for some of you, so hang on there, okay? But for me, Splash Mountain has a big, you know, big part of my heart. All right. I love the original movie. I know that some people think it's racist. It's not a racist film. I know that some people think that, you know, they shouldn't have Splash Mountain. It was 22,000 people that signed a petition to say, get rid of this ride back in 2020. And 3 million people signed a petition saying, no, don't get rid of it. And then Disney still did it. And the thing is that you have this new team or new, actually, I'm going to share this with you. You have this new group called Stories Matters at Walt Disney Company. And let me bring this up real quick so you guys can see it. And you can go to their website and you can check it out. They actually have information about what the group is. So it's basically the Walt Disney Company with several other companies. And it talks about Stories Matter and how, you know, stories shape how we see ourselves and everyone around us. And of course, this is all about diversity, right? I've worked in human resources for the last 25 years. I know diversity very well. Diversity is a great thing. We all come from different, you know, backgrounds, and we have different experiences and different cultures, and it's great. That's what makes us who we are, and it makes it wonderful. But sometimes diversity gets a little too crazy, and so this department is actually here to talk about some of the controversial stuff that Disney's done over the past and how they want to change it or modify it. And this is what I don't agree with necessarily. So they have, you know, here's a few examples of titles receiving an advisory along with the explanation of the negative depictions in each title. So they're doing this for each of the films. They're doing this for the Aristocats, Dumbo, Peter Pan, Swiss Family Robinson. And the advisory council is made up of many different companies, as you can see here, from the AAFCA, CAPE, Define America, the Gina Davis Institute on Gender and Media, GLAAD, Hollywood Health and Safety Society, Illuminative, NALIP, Respectability, the Science and Entertainment Exchange, and the Nintendo Bomb. So all these companies are working with Disney on this. The thing is, though, is that, you know, the Story Matters team also wants to change things at Disneyland, which I'm not real thrilled about. And that is something that I don't want to see happen. I just want good storytelling. We don't need to, you know, get into the whole thing. If you just tell me a good story and give me a good ride, I think we're great. But I think too much attention went into this to try to make it a better ride, because everyone was so concerned about how Splash Mountain was. The funny thing was that they're like, okay, so we're going to do this storyline, and the storyline's changed obviously over the years, right? It's been kind of crazy since they announced in 2020 they were going to change it. But when they finally got down to it and said, hey, we're going to do this ride, and it's going to be set, it's going to be set in a salt mine. Oh, okay, it's going to be set in a salt mine. Well, there's no, salt mines are down in the ground, not above ground. Oh, that doesn't matter. But we're going to base it on the Tabasco mine. The Tabasco mine that had slaves that worked in it and died. Okay, well I thought you were trying to get away from all this racial stuff with Splash Mountain and whatnot. And we're gonna make it a co-op with all the critters and employees that help own this. And okay, that's kind of like a socialist thing. So it was kind of funny that they're bringing all these things into this, that we're trying to get away from controversial stuff from Splash Mountain, but they're bringing it right into Tiana's Bayou Adventure. And I think what happened was, because they were trying to do all these things, eventually they got to the point where, well, we can't do that, we can't do this, but we're going to go ahead and keep this. And it got to the point where really there's not much of a story that we had to tell. So the thing is, and by the way, I transcribed the whole dialogue from Tiana's Bayou Adventure. And I went through it's like 17 lines, and then they've got 6 lines that are actually different versions. But and this kind of gives you an idea of like when you're going through this ride, it's like, okay, we're going through and we're trying to find a band. Okay, is there anything more to this? Well, not really. Tiana says, hey, and she's going up first lift. Hey, there you are, Lewis is up ahead. Let's join and find a band for our celebration. And then Lewis says, yoo-hoo, calling all musicians. Man, it's hard trying to find a band in the dark because he's digging into the ground. His alternative message is, hello, anyone down here that can play a horn and jam? Hello. And then you hear Mama Odie. If you're looking for a venture, you don't have far to go. Tell Mama Odie said so. And then Lewis says, Tiana wasn't kidding y'all. The critter bands she found sure can play. Hallelujah. And then Tiana says about the same band, these are the bee's knees. I would love for them to play at my party. Lou says, oh my, these guys can really play. They find another band. Tiana says, I'm going to ask all of them to play the party, but we need to keep searching high and low. She also has an alternative one where she says, hope they all come to the party to play, but let's explore a little more. Lewis, so how low can I go? How's this? He says those 2 lines. Mama Odie says, time to think big and get tiny. And that's the other thing. It's like, I think they didn't know what to do when it came to that underground section for Splash Mountain for both of them, because you kind of go into this cavern area. So what do? And they decide to tell you to think big and get tiny. But why are we getting tiny? I mean, there's nothing, telling you why you're getting tiny. Tiana says, where did they go? Lewis says, I don't know. Tiana says, we have to find them. Lewis says, wow, this joint is hopping. And Tiana says, these tiny musicians you found really bring the heat. Mama Odie has the last 3 lines of the ride, and she says, let's get you big again, because the bigger you are, the bigger the splash, and you'll make it the party. And she also says, haha, hope you enjoyed getting tiny. Now let's get you back big, bold, and beautiful self. Then she says, at the very top before you drop, now let's get you to the party. You'll get there in no time. And then the very last thing you see is when she's with her snake Juju, and she's like, I see you, Juju. Yeah, because he's going to take the beignets. And then she says, what a band. And then her alternative thing is, no, beignets are for the guests. Remember, this party wouldn't be what it is without you. So, but the thing is, there's no real, like Casual saying, there's no real sense of excitement or suspense. And do you need that? Maybe not. I mean, but one of the things about most of the rides, at Disneyland is there's some sort of suspense. Like before you went down the big drop in Splash Mountain, Brer Rabbit was, held hostage by a Brer Fox, and is he going to escape? And then of course, you're falling down the falls through the Briar Patch, and that's how he escapes. It's kind of that. But we've talked about this before, I think, where it's like, if we had Dr. Facilier, and I know that, this takes place after him, but if he was actually part of the ride and we were telling a story about Princess and the Frog, having him, at the very end, as you're going up that last lift, oh, you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go down this fall. Let's build a suspense. Let's have some fun. Let's, have some excitement. And that's not really there. It's kind of like, okay, we're just going through the ride. We're looking for a band. All right, we found the band. Here's a celebration. All right, that's it, the end of the ride. And it's like, that's a long ride to go without much of a storyline. So again, beautiful ride. It looks nice, but I'm just disappointed by the storyline. I think it's not what I was hoping to see. Okay, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, and I've got issues with other rides in the storylines, so it's not like, oh, well, I'm never going to ride it or anything like that. It's one of those things like, for me, Star Tours, I prefer the old Star Tours versus the new one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just, a matter of preference. It's not that, it's all right or wrong. It's just, I find the older version, more entertaining, and is it because it's nostalgia? Is it what you grew up with? Maybe, I don't know. But I'm not completely, against new things. So, it's to me, I just look at it with I'm a graphic designer, so I have a tendency to look at things, from a perspective of, does this work? What makes it work? What makes it not work? What can you change to get it better? So that's always how I look at everything, So I've read other people that the new Yeti in Matterhorn, because of the positioning of the Yeti, it makes it less threatening, even though it's louder and has more movement. The position of his hands and the way he's behind the rocks and things like that makes it, subconsciously, it's a less threatening Yeti. And those are the kind of things I like to look at.
The curious thing is him going, you can't see him. You just see him behind the ice a little bit when you're going up.
Right. Stuff like that is really cool. Those are good things, and that's why I say I'm not against, adding stuff and trying things. And, and I completely get it. Disney himself would fail spectacularly at times, so it's not like, it's, Disney was perfect in the past, and now the new crop of Imagineers are worthless. That's not the case. I do have questions about certain things that Imagineering, certain decisions they've made, but to say that Walt Disney was perfect, no, that is completely inaccurate. He had plenty of spectacular failures.
Yeah, and I'm not expecting this to be a perfect ride. I mean, I just was, I guess, hoping to have a better storyline to go, because they decided not to continue or do the Princess and the Frog story. So, I'm not trying to beat up on the ride or anything like that. My whole thing is, look, when the ride comes out, I'm gonna ride it. I'm sure we'll enjoy it. It's gonna be nice on the hot summer days. Does it have the best storyline? No, but hey, we're gonna enjoy it, and that's the thing. For me, obviously, I'm just sad to see it go, because, Splash Mountain was a big part of my heart. I mean, when my mom was still alive, I got to take her when I was a cast member to the guest night and or the cast member night, and we got to ride 11 times. So I still have those wonderful memories of what it was like and whatnot. But things change, unfortunately. Sometimes for the good, sometimes for not. But regardless, I just want everyone to know, it's like, we're not trying to beat up on the ride or anything like that. I just, was hoping to have maybe a little bit better of a story. Animatronics look amazing. Although, and just like everything, right now you're seeing that some of you have may seen, and Cordy was referring to it earlier, there's a lot of mechanical errors they're having right now, but they're in the test phase, right? They're having people on the ride. They're having people go through it. It's breaking down quite a bit, unfortunately. But the ride's not opening until, June 28th. So, hopefully they'll work out those kinks and whatnot. So for those people who are like, oh, well, it's not, you can't even get this thing to work. Well, they're just going through, previews right now and trying to get it to go. So no big deal there. I know. I think that animatronics do look pretty amazing though.
Yeah, and people forget that Indiana Jones had to close, I think 3 weeks after it opened. It had to close for like 5 or something days because it was malfunctioning so much that they had to just stop, take a few days, try to get everything worked out. And I mean, Indiana Jones is still notorious that, you walk by and it's like, hey, let's see if it's open. Oh, nope, it's not open, kind of thing.
Yep.
So there's a point where you got to, kind of stop and say, okay, hang on. Now we're just, nitpicking to nitpick. You know, that's why to me, like I said, I'm just looking at it from, you know, these certain angles that, you know, like I said, I would have liked to have just tiny adjustments to the story to make it a little bit better. You know, that's how I'm looking at it. I'm not saying, you know, oh, well, you know, would I have preferred Splash Mountain to stay? Yeah, of course. I would have loved to have Tiana have her own dark ride, and it would have been fantastic. I think they could have, especially in Magic Kingdom, with as much room they have, especially with the new Fantasyland, they could have done an entire dark ride with a boat, you know, proper boat ride for Tiana, and even attached the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't have the restaurant the way we do here at Disneyland. So it would have
Sammy
been
commented earlier. We've talked about this too, but we were saying this was months ago. But like Pocahontas, you know what I mean? There were so many things. Like it's the perfect, the last right that last drop is like just like in the movie. And it's, I don't know. So you're like, you know, there were so many different ways, you know, maybe they could have gone. So
see, and that one you could have taken the whole idea of the drop, and it would have been the crescendo to that final, you know, all the color, and you'd go flying off the river bend, and it would have been a completely different mindset going up the thing, because you're reaching for that, you know, final moment where you can let go and really, and you're part of the wind, and you go flying down those are the kind of things that I look at and I go, why isn't Imagineering able to fight for those kind of things? Because I know they've got the ideas. I'm not going to say that they don't have the ideas. I'm sure there are people in Imagineering that have ideas. I really think it's the fact that management won't let them. Because when you look at something like Villains Grove that was done just a couple years ago, I mean, it just debuted, what, three years ago?
Mm-hmm.
That is spectacular. It is by far the best thing that they've done in recent years, as far as I'm concerned. The amount of emotion that they're able to pack in there, and there's like almost no dialogue anywhere in it. You know, you've got a couple of whispers happening here and there. It's all just letting you fill in all the blanks, letting you create whatever is happening. You know, your mind just gets to wander and roam and be creative and enjoy a time. And like I said, I was nearly moved to tears by it. And that was after I had already seen the video. So anybody who says, you know, oh, well, you can't judge it by the video. I judged Villains Grove by the video, and I thought it looked spectacular. And when I got there, it was even better. Mm-hmm. So I don't understand these people who say, well, don't judge it by the video. Well, you're saying that because I'm being critical of it. If I was praising it, you'd be like, yay, great job. You know, that's what I don't like. It's if you can praise it from a video, then I should be able to critique it from a video at the same way. But yeah, I'm hopeful that the Disneyland one feels a little bit tighter, because like I said, the Florida one had some spots where it seemed like it's just kind of floating along there. And I'm all for moments of zen and have a nice quiet time, but it also can't feel awkwardly quiet. And there were a couple of spots in that video where you feel like, okay, we're just kind of floating here for a minute, and it's a little weird. You know, there's the one spot where you're like looking straight down, and there's Tiana off in the distance, and she's just kind of waiting for you to get there. You know, it's like, okay, this feels weird.
Yeah, and as I think all of us had mentioned earlier, there are some better versions out there, and some of you mentioned in the chat as well. One of the best versions of this video can be found on WDW News Today, so Walt Disney World News Today. They have a great video. It's this one right here in the middle. It's actually during the day, so you can see a lot more than what Disney shows, and it's the whole entire walkthrough from the actual line queue all the way to the very, very end where you get off the ride. So it's a much better video. It's about 17 minutes long, where the Walt Disney World one was only 9 minutes long. But if you want to check that out, definitely go check it out. It's a really, really good video.
And just so you know, I was listening to another friend tonight. She was live in Disney World, who's been extremely critical of this whole change from Splash to Tiana. She's been massively critical, Lorena Creole, and she was over there to see, what's going on and kind of check on it. And she was just basically gushing about how beautiful this thing looks at night. So that tells you, okay, if somebody who is extremely critical can look at it and go, wow, that looks beautiful. It's amazing. So there's those flashes of greatness that we can still see, and hope that, okay, maybe they just need to make some tweaks. Maybe they can adjust things, and hopefully, as time goes on, we'll have that, everything will kind of coalesce and it'll become, okay, wow, that's, a worthy successor to Splash Mountain. But time will tell.
We have heard from quite a few people who've commented, and I've starred those, so we can kind of go through those real quick. But so Paul Newt says, here's the problem. In my opinion, guests can't make the emotional investment with this ride, and there's no payoff for that investment. Brian Sevilla says, it's pretty but boring. Mike Skellington says, it's short and sweet. Terry says, guess it will be an acquired taste. Mitch's Venture says, where's Prince Naveen? He actually is in it. I was kind of hoping he'd be in it more, but he's at the very, very end of the celebration. You get to see Tiana's best friend, her mom, Prince Naveen, and then, of course, all the animal characters.
Yeah,
and
something like that actually might have been an interesting take as well.
Yeah.
Instead of it always being Tiana as you're going through, what if it was Eudora at one point and then Naveen at another point, so that it's this kind of progression of people, egging you on, hey, let's go do this kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe like they're all, helping out with the adventure to try to find, the band members. Cab Family says, I'm glad no Facilier. I don't want a creepy ride. I want to be able to take my little ones knowing they won't get scared. I think the story is cute. And I will tell you, I forgot to tell you, I watched this video with my daughter, and the first thing she said to me was, wow, those animals are really cute. I like them. And she did like, the way it looked inside. She liked all the characters, but she turned to me and she goes, where's the story? I don't get it. Why aren't they doing something else in this ride? So that was her little take on it. 80s Man says, what you didn't see was all the blank spaces. So Disney did kind of cut it down. And so when you go to that other video for WW News Today, they do have the full video, and you'll see some of those open areas that are kind of bare that don't have a whole lot. And that's what 80s Man is talking about. Mellow 1023 says, it's definitely more upbeat than Splash Mountain. The colors and music really draw you in, and they do. The colors and music are really nice. And like Theme Park Casual was talking about with our friend Lorena Creole, yeah, I mean, she was totally digging the vibe when it came to the colors and how it looked tonight. And I think it will, once they get everything going for our Disneyland version, it'll be beautiful at night as well. Mitch Finch says, I think it makes no sense. I think it's a holiday layover. Okay. Sammy Bear says, it's got energy and super vibrant. G-Man says, a wise friend of mine once said, whatever is going to be good. Whatever is going to be is going to be good, and it will be great. Gaming with James says, there are other videos out, and we just mentioned that one. So very good. Thanks for bringing that up, James. No beginning, no middle, no ending. Manny Uncanny says. Paul says, I'd like to know what prevented the team from sticking with the Frog and the Prince, or Princess and the Frog movie for this.
Well, that one's just a weird one because there's people that don't like the book report style attractions. And if you go on Ariel's Undersea Adventure, that is considered a book report style attraction, which basically just follows the movie and gives you basically a retelling of the movie in a three-dimensional attraction form. And there's a lot of people that, that they just don't like that. And as someone who's in a creative industry, I can see how if you're a creative person, you kind of don't want to play it safe. You want to take a chance, and the book report style attraction is the safe bet. Because it's an established story, that nobody's going to, there's going to be little nitpicks here and there, but for the most part, everybody's going to understand what you're doing, and they're going to get it, and they're going to say, okay, yeah, we saw it. That's the Little Mermaid ride because it goes exactly with the movie. And, so when you get into a position where that's, something where you're trying to avoid that. And I completely get it. I understand why you would want to try to, do something different. That's one of the perspectives as to why they would just kind of try to depart from just retelling the movie.
Game of James also said, TPC is such a downer.
I am the little black rain cloud, and I am the one who is going to make everybody sad by the time they leave Disneyland.
Wow. Trish, Power Girl Trish says it's an advertisement for the restaurant. Hope it's much better when we write it.
Yeah, they're definitely pushing the beignets big time.
Yes,
pushing the beignets.
Beignets are so good though. They need to have Mickey shaped ones though on that ride. Kidding.
I mean, they've already said that they're going to be piping the smell into the queue.
Yes.
So
see that'll be good. That'll be cool. B says I prefer the old music. Noah James says diversity is the key. Brian Sevilla says it's not good enough for 20 years. Well, we'll see.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be here for 20 years. I don't think they spent this kind of money to redo it any sooner than that.
Yeah. All very good points. A great story matters for longevity. And our last one is I really wish they would have added Dr. Facilier, though. And that was
and I'm not here to harp on the story thing because I don't think you need a very in-depth story, but as far as the villain antagonist kind of thing, that's what makes a story. If you don't have any tension, if you don't have anything that can possibly go wrong, the story just is kind of there. And if you look at even the Fantasyland attractions, they all have those moments of a little bit of fright. I mean, Snow White's Scary Adventures before they changed it was actually very frightening. The trees in that section were actually scarier looking than the ones in the Haunted Mansion. You've got Mr. Toad where, you're going through all this craziness and then it's, guilty. Thank you. That is all, those kind of things. Roger Rabbit, you get through all of those kind of things. And there's lots of, potential, harm that could happen. And you look at Peter Pan, Mr. Toad, Alice in Wonderland, these were all based on, great works of literature. And to what I respect of those is they don't necessarily dumb it down for kids. They respect the children. Yes, they may not get it, but they can get the themes. And there's a moral. The same way in Splash Mountain, there was morals there. You could learn a lesson in this. And with this new version of, Tiana's Bayou, we don't learn any real lesson. And the original movie had a lesson that you work hard, that you persevere, and you can achieve your dreams, no matter who's trying to hold you back. And with this, there's nothing really that says, that inspires you to do something great, to dream big, and to go for, the biggest dreams that you can dream. And that's like I said, to me, those are the things. If you're going to aim it for the kids, give them something to aspire to. Give them something that has them wanting to dream big. So, like I said, this is my designer kind of mentality of, why do you do these things? What is the underlying thing? What is the subconscious taking in and processing? Because those are the things that even a child understands. They may not get it right away, but it sticks with them. And as they grow older, they'll be able to kind of come back to those things. And that's when the layers of the story become important. So.
All right.
So now that I brought everybody back down.
You see,
well,
Jetta said instead of Debbie Downer, it's Danny Downer.
Wow.
I think I've got my new member emoji that when that one gets released, I'm going to go ahead and. Sheesh.
That's hilarious. There it is.
And here's the thing. If you feel I'm wrong, explain to me how I'm wrong, because you could change my mind. I'm more than happy to take a listen. And Cab Family said I like it that I can bring my little ones on there. That's a valid point, and maybe that was the mandate for Imagineering. You know what? We don't want this scary. Don't make it scary at all. And if that's the case, then that's what they had to do.
Right. But I think the most important thing for all of us is that, look, we all experience things in different ways, right? So, I mean, if you love what you saw, then that's awesome. That's really, really
Right.
cool. Everyone has a different point of view. Obviously, you know, we're not always going to agree, but that's what makes us so great and special, right? So if you love it, that's all that matters. And we want you to enjoy that ride. And we're still, as streamers, we're going to go on it when it comes out. We're going to go on the ride. We're going to show it to you. We're going to experience it. You know, and we'll let you enjoy it, because when we go out there, we're really doing it not just for us, but for all of you. And so when we go on these rides, we're hoping you are getting the same experience we are by going through and seeing this, you know, really cool, you know, ride that was created by Walt Disney or the Imagineers in the Disneyland parks, or wherever we happen to go, whether it's, you know, Knott's Berry Farm or SeaWorld or Universal Studios or wherever. So as long as you guys are enjoying it, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and you guys, and I'll be the first one to say, if I get off that ride and I'm just like, no, that was fantastic, you guys got to come check this out, I will say so. You guys saw how I was with Oogie Boogie Bash. I was the big, you know, who's going to pay that ticket? That's just stupid. It's just a bunch of characters. Why would you want to go? And by the end of it, I was just like, I think I'm going to buy a ticket next year. So I'm more than happy to, you know, change my mind and, you know, go experience something and be like, wow, that was completely not what I was expecting. And I've, you know, like I said, I am more than happy to change my mind if they blow my socks off.
Yep. Cool. So Hope asked, my question is, when is Tiana's Bayou Adventure? They haven't announced it for Disneyland. The rumor is that it's supposedly going to be in November, but we don't know if it's going to be there or not. Yeah. You know, so I think it all depends on, you know, the setbacks of the construction and everything that got going on. But obviously for right now, Walt Disney World is opening up on June 28th. And it's open now to cast members and to preview. So you'll be seeing a lot more of it, I'm sure. But June 28th is a big day for Walt Disney World. And then it's time will tell for us with Haunted Mansion and with Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So okay. I think we're going to cover just a couple other things real quick before we do Q&A. Something I wanted to bring up. Oh, so let me share this screen with you guys real quick. This is just a quick FYI because we have a new area opening up at Tokyo Disney Resorts, and that is Fantasy Springs is opening up on June 6th, 2024. So that's just a couple of days away for Japan right now, 3 days away for us. And of course, just a quick reminder, it's going to have several different rides and attractions in different lands. So we're going to have a Frozen Kingdom, Peter Pan's Neverland. We're going to have Rapunzel's Forest and Tokyo Disney Sea Fantasy Springs Hotel. So it looks pretty amazing. We showed some screenshots of it the last time we did our Park Streamers Hangout. The movie here just shows how to check in on your app. It doesn't really show how to, you know, what the park looks like yet. I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot more. So maybe the next Park Streamers Hangout will have some more videos and photos to show you. And also just want to bring up that we recently lost, whoops. Oh, I forgot. I wanted to show this one and it didn't move over. Hold on 1 sec. I clicked on the wrong button. So Richard Sherman, brother Robert Sherman, recently passed away. And obviously he was, you know, a big part of the Disney company. He created some really memorable songs and show tunes for movies as well as TV. So Richard Sherman is definitely going to be missed. He was 95 years old, and he obviously was a big part. He won 3 Grammys and received 24 gold and platinum albums over the course of a 65-year career, and that's a long time. So obviously we're going to miss him, but his music definitely will live on in our hearts and minds. But we just wanted to bring that up and say that, you know, we're sorry that he's passed, but now he's up there in heaven with his brother Robert and Walt Disney himself. So
And if you guys can, do yourself a favor and try to find the video where Richard Sherman, I can't remember what event it is, but he talks about how when they wrote It's a Small World, that it was supposed to be a slow, almost like a ballad.
Oh, mm-hmm.
And he sings it, in that tone. And oh my God, if you think It's a Small World is a fantastic song the way I do, and then you hear him sing it like that, it'll send you over the edge. It's amazing. I mean, he sings it almost like a prayer. It is so amazing.
Oh, and sorry, Hope wanted me to read the information about Fantasy Springs, but there was no information on the site, Hope. So that's why I didn't read anything. I don't know why, but they didn't have anything listed in English on that site right offhand. So, but I promise you, I will cover it on my stream when I stream this Thursday. If you come join me, okay? And you put it into the chat. All right.
All right.
I think that covers it. Does anyone have any questions for us? And if you do, throw it in the chat. Let's do a little Q&A and wrap this up. Buddy says there's one with him singing, playing There's Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow in Walt's office on the piano. And he played it for Walt on too. Yeah, that's awesome. David saying hello. Hello, David. How you doing? Thanks for joining us tonight. Wait, wow, this is a tough one. Mr. Guest saw cats or dogs? Or dogs or cats, he says.
I'm a cat person. I know it's
Cat
weird.
person.
I'm a cat person.
Lynn asked about seating for Fantasmic. So no.
Well, you can, if you can get into the River Bell with the table seating, you can get that, but
not down there unless you
VIP.
The VIP section, and then if you get lucky, they will. If it's empty, cast members will walk around and pull people in. We had that a few times last year, probably 3 times last year. So it happens.
Whoa, Mitch says I was lucky enough to meet Richard Sherman in person at one of the D23 expos. That's amazing. That's so cool, Mitch. That's so cool.
Manny Uncanny says, regarding Tiana, as the ride keeps breaking down and guests must be escorted off by cast members. Yeah, that's kind of par for the course right now. From what I've heard is they did upgrade the operating systems on the attraction. And so they're working out some of the bugs on that. So, and you can see in a lot of the videos that are out there, the logs do back up. So it could be that they're trying to figure out what's the optimum capacity, and so they're loading up logs and getting it to the point where it's like, okay, now we need to either pull some offline and run with X number of logs on there. So that could be what it is. So at this point, it feels like they're in a little bit more of a testing phase than a preview. So you're just gonna have to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh, Hope says, hey, Barry, we heard your Fantasmic open. May 13th, 1992, Hope. How's that?
Boom.
I think I got it right. Well, she'll probably put in the chat go, no, you're wrong. It was May 14th. I'm kidding. All right. Let's see. We got a few people saying they're cat people, a few people saying they're dog people. Oh, here we go. Last girl wants to know churros or beignets. Ooh.
I think I got to go beignets.
Yeah. That's a tough one for me. Yeah, I'll say beignets as well. I'm not a huge powdered sugar person, but beignets, hot beignets, ooh, so good.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what else.
Michael Wolfson says, bummed that the treehouse is closed during Fantasmic.
Fantasmic, yeah.
Well, they're closed during the fireworks, so they were already.
Yeah.
It just so happens there's the Fantasmics.
Well, to be honest, I think they did that so people wouldn't go up there and gum it up and try to get a good spot.
But they did close it, during fireworks. So yeah. And we've been getting fireworks during the week, so that's pretty.
Yeah, well, I think now we're going to the summer months, and so now that we've hit Memorial Day weekend, I think we're doing fireworks. And obviously, a couple things have changed. The magic key holders for Imagine and Enchant are blocked out. It looks like now for the summer.
Yeah.
Only Believe and Inspire, and also that ticket that they had for the Southern California residents that ended as of yesterday. So,
but they've got a new one happening for the summer that's open to everybody.
Shh! Don't talk about it. Won't go. Just kidding. Just kidding. Yeah, they've got a new one for the summer, so we'll see how that goes. Let's see.
Aaron Wright asks, when does Haunted Mansion reopen? There is no official date. We're assuming it's going to be probably around August 23rd is when Halloween time kicks off at the Disneyland Resort. So I'm assuming that it's going to open right around then. That would make a perfect target date. That's not a guarantee of any sort, but if Halloween time is kicking off, Disneyland's big marquee attraction is Haunted Mansion for Halloween. So I would assume that they'd like to have that open in time for the start of Halloween season.
Oh, guys, mystery guest says Monte Cristo, then Montezuma's Revenge. Oof, that sounds like.
And then over to the nearest trash can because.
Get out of here! Well, wait. Now is
well the Monte Cristo. If I have the entire Monte Cristo, I already feel like that. So adding Montezuma's Revenge, you're probably going to get real close.
Yeah, but here's the thing: if you get the Monte Cristo, you eat it at Disneyland, and then you drive over to Knott's Berry Farm, you got some time to digest it. Where hopefully it's not going to come up, but for me, it wouldn't come up anyhow because I love thrilled coasters and stuff like that. So, and I can't wait for Montezuma, the Forbidden Fortress, to open up. That's the new title when it comes or opens up in 2025.
Mr. Membe's the new Disney coaster, Monte Cristo's Revenge.
Oh, I love that. That is so cool. Very, very cool. All right. Any other questions? Oh, wait. Mitch Adventure says, I have a question. I'll be going to Disneyland on either August 6th, Chef Oscar's 89th birthday, or my 7th wedding anniversary. Will Fantasmic still be on?
August 6th, most likely, yes.
Yeah.
Gaming with James asks, when was the first time you rode Splash? That would be probably, I want to say fall of '89. I went with a friend for his work. They had Disneyland they rented Disneyland for the evening. It was a big corporation. They rented Disneyland and they were able to bring friends. And so we went, and that was my first time riding Splash.
I think I went July. We waited for hours, hours in the heat. Me and now my husband, but we were dating at the time, and then my cousin and her boyfriend. And we also did the, someone just told me the name of it, but we caught the Polynesian show too, where they did
Tahitian Terrace.
So we got to do that, and we got to do the Splash Mountain that year.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I was a cast member for Disney at that time, so I got to go to the cast preview, which was, I think, about 6 weeks before the ride opened, and it was a lot of fun. I rode it 11 times in one night in a 4-hour period. Yeah, I was a little soaked, but my mom and I and all my coworkers, we had a blast. So it was a lot of fun, and it was really cool because we didn't get to go through the regular line like everyone else would go through because the park was open and it was getting close to closing when I went. And so we got to go through the backstage areas and walk through the mountain. So it was kind of cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Mitch's Adventure says, have any of you been to the old Club 33? Unfortunately, no.
No. Theme Park Casual and I were lucky enough to go together last March of 2023, and that was awesome, but it was the new version. But still, it was really, really cool to be able to go.
Noah asked about Mickey. Where's the best place to view Mickey on the Fantasmic stage? I kind of feel like they all were good because he's up a little higher, but you just don't want a tree in front of you.
Yeah, I was going to say, just try to avoid the trees and the lampposts.
Lampposts.
Yeah, when we did Fantasmic the other night, me and Bob, I had like a great spot. We're off, like, kind of off to the side over by Tiana's palace. And I had like a little pedestal right in front of me. So I would just set the gimbal down and I was like, cool, perfect. Everything. There were a couple of little parts where the light pole got in the way, but then Maleficent directly behind the light pole. You could literally see, it's like this, and you could see her arms, Like, oh my God. Are you serious? And I'm like trying to move it a little bit. I couldn't get around the pole. It was just like,
That's funny.
absolutely perfectly the wrong spot. It was insane.
That's hilarious. Too funny. Okay, Hope. It's Disney Odendrum Semper Floris Grandis. There you go. She asked me to say it. Let's see. Anyone else have a question? Oh, Mitch said he was able to go to both versions of Club 33 thanks to his wife's friend who's a member. Oof. We need to talk, Mitch. Kidding. Let's see.
Shelb said, was talking about way back when, that it would be like a 3 to 4 hour wait for Splash. And I say yes, because I feel like we waited that long.
I remember seeing the line for Splash. It would come all the way out to the front and then do a couple of switchbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And
just like the night it closed.
I was going to say that was the last time I saw it like that, but I
Right.
hadn't seen it like that, before, for quite some time before that.
Yep. I remember having to stand in line for that. That was not a lot of fun when it was 3 or 4 hours. I almost like, no. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Barry, what was said? So it was actually Fantasmic. Jetta. So thank you. Thank you, Cordy, for reminding me. Oh, I already forgot what I said. It was Fantasmic open May 13th, 1992. Okay, I don't see any other questions. So I think we're good.
All right. Well, that was a great conversation, great show. Thank you all very, very much for being here with us tonight. And we appreciate you spending your time with us. So we're going to go around and Barry Place, go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you and when you'll be streaming next.
Okay, so you guys can catch me actually tomorrow. I will be on T3PO Online at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time with the good Vash guy who actually is leading that, and it'll be a lot of fun. I think we're going to be talking about Tiana's Bayou Adventures, so definitely come have some fun talking about that some more with us. And then I will be at the park on Thursday with my daughter. We are finally going to be together and doing a stream because she's out of school. She's excited and it's going to be a lot of fun. I told her, hey, you can be in charge of the whole stream if you want, and I'll give you the gimbal. And she's like, no. So I will be with her on a Thursday. So please come check us out and have some fun with us. And we look forward to seeing you on Thursday.
All right. And Theme Park Casual, where can everybody find you and when will you be streaming next?
You can find me on YouTube, X, and Instagram, all of them at Theme Park Casual. And I have a reservation for Thursday. I should be there that evening if work cooperates. I've got a little bit of a weird work schedule this week. So I'm hoping that they'll let me leave early so that I can get out there and do a stream in the evening. But I can't guarantee it yet. But other than that, Sunday for Donald Duck's 90th birthday, I will be at the parks and I will have a special guest that day. And it's going to be a members only stream at this point. I'm going to double check to see if my special guest wants to keep it members only or if they're willing to go, just regular stream. But at the moment, it is a members only stream with a very special guest.
Wonderful.
I forgot I have a reservation that day because of Donald's birthday. So maybe I'll see you there. That'll be awesome. And Cordy.
All right. So YouTube. What else am I on? Instagram. I can't think anymore. It's that
TikTok, hour. Discord,
Twitch.
Cordy In California. And I will be in the parks tomorrow.
Awesome.
Very cool. Awesome. All right.
All right.
All
Well,
righty, guys.
thank you
Thank you
guys
for joining us. We hope you'll join us next time.
Yeah.
And hope everyone has a great night.
Yes, next time, 2 weeks from today, we will have our special guest, Pete McDevitt, will be here joining us to go over. We're going to learn a little bit about Pete himself. We'll have a little bit of interview time, and then we're going to go over who knows whatever topics are going to be the hot things in 2 weeks, because it could be anything at this point. So be sure to join us. We'll have Pete McDevitt with us.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
All right.
Sweet dreams, everyone.
We hope you enjoyed our amazing show tonight. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on the next Park Streamers Hangout. Have a good night, everyone.